Living life seeking answers to the many problems that continue to evolve? Whether it's about business, money, relationships, family, or anything, let's talk. Join Alan Cousin of Get Up Radio Media as he talks about anything and everything that the mind can come up with. His motto is, you can't find a solution until you talk about it first. Ready to be informed about life and feel positive daily? Then come listen to Let's Talk with Alan Cousin and get up as a positive new you.
Hello out there. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all of you amazing people. Thank you. Welcome to Let's Talk with your host, Alan Cousin. And today is Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. And what are we going to talk about today, right? First of all, I hope you had a very enjoyable very enjoyable President's Day Monday, yesterday. Of course, if you did, I hope you enjoyed barbecuing or relaxing or doing whatever it is you felt like you needed to do, catching up on things or doing nothing at all. Whatever made you enjoy yourself yesterday. I hope you got the opportunity to do it. Me, myself, I took the opportunity to relax and for once not do much because, my time is very limited. So a lot of times I tend to stay busy. But yesterday I just said, you know what, I'm just going to relax and not really do much. And so I didn't. And it was quite nice, to say the least. It's a bit interesting, though, here in Texas because it's currently 85 degrees. Yes, I did say that. 85 degrees currently in Texas. In February, when we're supposed to be having winter. Now, granted, about 10 years ago, we had a thing called El Nino, in which then the climate switched because basically wherever it was supposed to be hot was cold, wherever it was supposed to be cold was hot. Now, I believe, as the Farmer's Almanac explained this year, we are now going into El Nino, where now things are switching back. So, of course, you currently have something cold is becoming hot, and places where maybe hot is becoming cold. Or this could be a little different or more extravagant, depending on the situation. I do remember in El Nino, we had New York, where it was supposed to be cold and snowing, actually had no snow. And we had New Orleans, where it was supposed to be pretty much in the 60s, was in the 20s with snow. So now, right now, here we are in Dallas, and it's 85 degrees during winter, where they say the north is going to have heavy ballistic blizzards, winter blizzards, that is, coming near them. While in the south, though, now they say we're going to have a strange but horrific heat wave soaring through the south in the next month or two. So, for those that say climate change doesn't exist, hey, what's going on then? But like I said, we have our people with opinions, and everyone has their ability to speak their opinion and say what they believe. So, of course, I understand that some people don't believe climate change exists. I, on the other hand, frankly do believe in climate change, and clearly this right here is a clear example of climate change, as it's 85 degrees in Dallas, Texas, where right now it should be about 30 degrees, maybe 40. So, but I'm not going to say I'm not going to enjoy the day, because basically, hey, it's warmer. I will take advantage of the warmth. I will take advantage of getting things done outside in the yard that needs to be done. But still, a bit strange, don't you think? And speaking of strange, that's why we're going to talk about death, spirits, ghosts, and so forth. Things that bump in the night, or things that you can't explain. That's the question and the topic for today on Let's Talk. And speaking of that, I want to go ahead. I want to take a moment of my time, and I want to give a salute and give a moment of silence to President Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter President Jimmy Carter, basically, was placed into hospice Friday. And of course, when an individual is placed into hospice, it normally means that that individual is having an extreme situation that is affecting their body in a negative fashion or a negative manner that could possibly lead towards death in the long run. And of course, Jimmy Carter was a great man. He was a great president, made good situations occur, some mistakes, of course, just like any other president. But the thing I like about President Jimmy Carter is he's a genuine individual. He helped many people before his presidency, during his presidency, and after his presidency. And he didn't do it to be noticed. He did it because he just genuinely cared. And I've heard many stories of President Jimmy Carter helping individuals or groups without even letting people know he was doing so, just because he wanted to see a better America and see people have an opportunity to live a better life if he could be part of that opportunity. And he was many ways part of opportunities that help others to improve and grow and be better in their life. And I salute you, Jimmy Carter, for being that man, that individual. And I want to say that I give special condolences and special prayers to you as well as your family members, as I hope you are doing well right now. And if you're not doing as well as you should be, that you are still enjoying life and have a peaceful situation where you are not in any grave pain or negative fashion. And that, of course, if for some reason you do have to leave us in this life, that you can do so in a very peaceful manner where you can enjoy the moment of leaving and not stress about it as others may have done. So before I continue, I'm just going to give a moment of silence for President Jimmy Carter, though he's not gone, just to let him know that I salute him, I admire him, and that my prayers are here for him and our staff prayers as well. So just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity to give that. Once again, like I said, a great man indeed. I really do hope, and I do have my prayers and hope the best for him and his family, and hope that everything goes well and gets better and improves. But if for some reason it doesn't, that he doesn't go through any pain or negativity in this situation currently. So moving on now to the topic at hand for Let's Talk. Spirits, ghosts, death, things that we wonder about. What happens after we are leaving our bodies, so supposedly? Is there life after death? Is there anything after death? You'd be amazed how many people, though they live, though they go to church, though they say they believe in God and hell and heaven and so forth, really, in all essence, lie and don't believe in such and are afraid of what's on the other side, and if there is another side after you die, after the Grim Reaper comes and makes his visit to take you to the other side. I myself fully believe in life after death, fully believe in the situation of ghosts, spirits, and so forth. I believe that there's a possibility that some ghosts are condemned to stay on Earth because they may have been stuck into an entity because they were a serial killer killing so many unfortunate people that basically upon their departure, they were then condemned that individual to stay on Earth because of what he or she did to them. I believe that the opportunity may be that some get lost along the way to find their gateway to the other side. And because of that, they just simply stay here on Earth. I believe that some choose to stay because they don't want to go to wherever it is they're condemned to, or may escape and come back to Earth because they are wanting to enjoy Earth because it's so much better than when they were previously. And we all know that place, right? Or what place I'm talking about. HE double hockey sticks, the magical place of the devil, where it's very hot and never gets cold, so to speak, or maybe very cold and never gets hot. Who knows? But anyway, Yeah, life after death. It's interesting when you talk about that because some people don't like talking about life after death. Some people don't like talking about spirits or ghosts. I mean, I'm from New Orleans. Hey, voodoo is a vast majority among our culture in New Orleans. I mean, The Skeleton Key was a movie based on voodoo. Serpent in the Rainbow was a movie based on voodoo. Many movies I can bring up where people basically did utilize the ability of capturing souls or utilizing souls for their own demonic situations in order to utilize that soul to quote unquote serve them for the rest of their lives after death. I mean, these are situations that have occurred, so supposedly, and situations that still occur, supposedly, based on magic and witchcraft and so forth. And of course, you always wonder, when you see your individual pass away, but you notice how some pass so peacefully and quiet, as they say, they see a bright light and feel the need and attraction to enter into that bright light, while there are others that scream in horrific pain and fear as they say they see something so horrific that they do not want to die or leave their body and are praying not to be taken away. I mean, these are things that have been caught on film or have been noted by various people, family members, friends, of course. I remember my aunt, Aunt Gail. She was a great person. In many ways, people felt like she was an angel on earth for the many things that she did, the many people she helped, and how she progressively made people feel at ease and peace because of her voice and her kindness and her gentleness. And when she passed away, I wasn't there myself because they wouldn't allow me to be there because at that time I was 10 and they felt like I shouldn't be there for the moment of her death. But my mother told me that when she died, 2 white doves actually came upon the sill of the window in the hospital. Now, that in itself says a lot. Individual leaves and 2 white doves come to land on an individual. Coincidence or not? And of course, the situation of these movies, Constantine and other movies, where it shows that there are demons out there and exorcisms, the exorcism itself that talked about priests who actually exorcise demons out of individuals that unfortunately have been taken by souls who have come back from hell to basically control others and cause chaos among the earth. I mean, I myself have, viewed exorcism once or twice. Won't go into it, of course, but I can say that I truly did the opportunity to view one, and it was definitely something I will never forget to the day I die. So, it makes you wonder, if you're a good person, are you guaranteed to go to heaven? If you're a bad person, you're guaranteed to go to hell. Makes you wonder if they can come back and communicate. I remember one time when our Uncle Dennis passed away and my Uncle Boyd passed away and even Aunt Gail passed away. I did a little trick where basically I took my phone. I would put in numbers that literally meant nothing. And I would actually create a phone contact in my phone with those numbers and their name, basically on the day of their death. And just wonder if maybe something would happen. And I can say on many occasions, actually, the phone would ring. And I would look at the phone thinking, I need to answer the phone. And the phone simply had their name popping up, which of course had no number to them. The number there was not a 7-digit number. It was a number I created. But yet that phone rung and their name popped up. And there were times I answered the phone and I would hear static, but I would hear lightly their voice trying to say something to me. Interesting. Reality or not? Like I said, it happened to me. I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to make up anything. These are just stories that I'm letting you know occurred in my life with certain individuals. But to this day, there are times the phone will ring, the name will show up, I will answer, and I will hear faintly someone in the background trying to speak. I remember distinctly when my Uncle Dennis passed away and I was with my mother trying to console her as that was her twin brother. We were at an actual restaurant in Slidell, in Michoud, a little diner, seafood diner, and I took her out to eat lunch. to make sure that she can, continue to eat and, get her out of the house a little bit. And as I was talking to her, I explained to her how Uncle Dennis was a great man, and I'm pretty sure he's around us even as we speak and watching us and watching over you as we speak. And he's probably making sure to protect you now that he can do so even more so as your guardian angel and your brother. And as I said that, the phone rung. And clearly, as I told you, I will put numbers in for my certain individuals that have passed away. And I did one for Uncle Dennis. And surely as I was speaking about that to my mother, the phone rung, the name popped up, and it was Uncle Dennis. I did answer the phone, and we heard static, and we clearly heard there was a voice. Didn't hear much of what the voice said, but clearly can hear someone was trying to speak among the static. And my mother just looked at me and said, "Thank you, God," because it amazed her. Because, hey, I didn't make it happen. No one else made it happen. It just happened. So, but you have to think, we are made of energy. They say that we are made of pure energy. Now, energy cannot be neither created or destroyed apart scientifically. So, in logic and science, that means that when we pass away, our energy cannot be destroyed. Therefore, it has to go somewhere. Now, of course, we are living on a planet Earth, which is part of a solar system, which is part of our universe. And who needs to say that there's a universe out there that is a heaven among heavens that we would venture into? Because then we have the ability of leaving Earth, as we don't need a rocket jet or something to push us back past gravity to leave this outer atmosphere. Or where is hell? Is there such a place as hell? Or is Earth actually hell on Earth, where if you die, you get to leave and go into the heavens? But if you die and you're not of the positive image and not of a positive, genuine, good person, you just literally stay on Earth and stay for the rest of your life, having to deal with the earthly bounds, but being only a spirit. Just possibilities out there, theories among theories as to how we may depart, and not only how, but where we may go. And who has the answer? I mean, there have been many spoken documentaries of people who have died and have come back to life and said that clearly they saw others in this spirit world, that they went to this other dimension, so to speak, and got to see their relatives and friends of the past, and was told it was not their time and they had to come back and were forced back into their body. I mean, but like I said, these are stories, these are information given by others who supposedly passed away from a few minutes or even 10 minutes or longer, but came back. I mean, when you really think about it though, our energy is inside us. Our brain is based on electricity. Our body decomposes back into sand or back into ash, so to speak. So, it makes you wonder if that spirit, that energy inside us, leaves the body only to go further past the earth into a multi-dimensional universe known as heaven, or another one known as hell. Who knows? I mean, we only can know what we believe, and we can only go on what we know and experience. But, some of us out there believe in it, and some of us out there don't. I myself, I'm a true believer. Like I said, I've experienced some situations. I've been around some opportunities. I've seen one or two exorcisms myself, which I can just only say is something you will never, ever, ever forget if you were to ever experience one or be part of one. I have seen a seance or two, which, once again, you will never forget if you're a part of one or see one and experience one. And like I said, these are things that I couldn't answer logically. I couldn't prove scientifically or with logic of the occurrences that happen while experiencing these things. And sometimes I wonder if life and death corresponds with whether or not we do get things, because we know that if we don't, just like Santa Claus has his naughty list and nice list, if we don't do things right, we get to see good old Beelzebub, good old Satan. If we do things great, though, we get to see God, Jesus, Mary, and many others, as we are entering the gates of heaven, while the horns and trumpets are sung by angels upon our entrance. Just things that you wonder about, right? Questions that you want answers to, but sometimes you just don't know until you die, right? Can't get the answer until that point of contact, that actual situation occurs. Have I seen spirits? Yeah, I think I had a spirit in one of our old apartments of a young girl, probably around age 6 to 9. She would pop up around 2, 3 in the morning whenever I went to the kitchen sometimes to give me some lemonade, and just stand there smiling and nothing else. Didn't move anything, just simply looked at me and smiled. Sometimes she would come out crying, and even though I would wonder why, try to talk, she just continued to cry. I remember seeing a situation where there was a ghost in one of my first homes, and I remember seeing a situation where I felt a presence outside of my mother's house as I was reading the Bible with my friend, Book of Revelations actually, in fact. And when I looked outside, all I saw was yellow and green eyes. Nothing else. Just yellow and green eyes. And that was it. So like I said, we all can come out with our stories. We all can talk about the things we've seen, experienced. We can all talk about what we believe in, what we don't believe in. But it's just often that, you wonder what's true and what's not. I mean, throughout the years, I remember recalling, even as a kid, there were times where statues of Mary would bleed, and the Vatican would take these statues, bring them into the Vatican, house them in vault, put them in the vault, never to be seen again. And there were kids that supposedly saw the Virgin Mary, and in doing so, was giving information about future situations that were to occur. I mean, these are things that make you go, and why? But then again, there's possibly UFOs and aliens out there as well that some believe in, some don't. So it's always a question of belief. When you think about it, faith and fear is the most powerful words in the world. Faith and fear, the most powerful words in the world. Because either you'll have faith in something no matter what, or you'll have fear of something and no longer will you believe. But it's interesting how many people out there who even go to church every Sunday and say that they're all about believing in God and the devil, but really when it comes to death are quite fearful because they really don't know what's on the other side. What happens when I close my eyes and I don't open them back up? What happens when the Grim Reaper comes knocking at my door with an invitation to take me out, but not to bring me back? Question that many people don't have the answer to, but yet many people actually do fear. You'd be amazed how many people fear dying more than anything else, because they don't know what's going to happen afterwards. And that's why they fear it so much. But then you have others who are ready to die. I've heard of many people as they get older and at a certain age, they simply say, my time is near, God has informed me, and I'm just simply waiting because my death will be soon. And they peacefully died without an issue, without a problem, because they were ready. And then have others who have had horrific deaths, scared, fearful, screaming as they were dying. I remember my Aunt Gail. I was 10 years old at the time. She died of cancer, unfortunately. I was not allowed to be there at the hospital because they felt like it was not something I should be aware or experience being I was 10. But my mother told me that when she died, after my Aunt Gail died, there were 2 white doves that actually flew into the hospital window right next to the desk, right by her side. Interesting, if you think about it. 2 white doves flying into the window after my aunt died. A sign, possibly? Who knows? And I will say, I played this little trick I would always do with my relatives when they passed away. I would actually enter a phone number into my phone and actually put a number that didn't exist and coordinate it with my family member and put their name in the phone as a contact. And I can say that many times, at a few times here and there, the phone rung. Their name appeared. Once again, a number that didn't exist. But yet, if I answered the phone, I would hear static, and I would still hear slightly some voice in the background speaking. And at times I could actually hear what the voice said, and at times I couldn't depict what the voice said. But still, the phone rang. No number that existed. And yet, I heard something in the background. I even remember when my Uncle Dennis died, being that it was my mother's twin brother, which of course deeply affected her. I went to caress her and console her and be there for a couple of weeks. And I took her out one day to a nice seafood diner in Michoud, and we ate there and enjoyed ourselves and talked and tried to laugh. And as we were talking about Uncle Dennis, and I said, "Oh, Mom, Uncle Dennis is definitely in a very better place, a much peaceful place. And I bet you he's actually watching over you as we speak, even more so as the brother he was. And, when he was alive, he's probably watching more so over you as a brother in death." And as I said so, these very words, my phone rung. And when my phone rung, the name showed Uncle Dennis. And I answered the phone in front of my mother, and she saw it as well. And we heard something in the background as the static was quite loud, but there was a voice. And that voice was saying something. And we did hear Denise in the voice. So, makes you wonder, did my Uncle Dennis contact my mother to make sure to let her know that indeed he was okay and he was there to protect her, even though he wasn't physically there anymore, but spiritually he will always be bounded to make sure she's okay? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I've also was able to be privy to 2 exorcisms that did occur, in which I got to experience seeing those exorcisms of demonic people, or I should say demonic souls, being taken away from humans by priests. And let me tell you, it's an experience you'll never forget in any way, and it's an experience that somehow, in some way, will change your life after you've experienced it, as it changed mine. But like I said, I got privy to seeing such things and experiences. And of course, we have voodoo in New Orleans, we have voodoo in Chicago, we have voodoo in New York, we have voodoo in Orlando. I mean, these are places that have a lot of voodoo and a lot of witchcraft, so to speak. And Salem, Massachusetts as well. So, you often wonder, about life, death, spirits, voodoo, witchcraft. And how many people believe and how many people don't? How many of those missing children we see on the milk carton are missing because they actually ran away? Or how many are missing because they were sacrificed due to a voodoo or witchcraft spiritual ritual? Questions we may not ever get answers to, right? It's just something to think about. But it's all about faith. Faith and fear is the 2 most powerful words in our guidelines in our life. Because most people either have faith or most people have fear. Faith in what they believe, or fear in not knowing what to believe. Interesting enough, but very true. And that's the thing you have to think about with your own life. How much faith do you have about life and death? What do you believe when it comes to the point of the day that you finally have those last few moments of your life before you venture off? And when your eyes close and your heart stops and your brain activity no longer exists, where will you go? Where will you go? question indeed. A question that unfortunately many of us can't answer, even though there's been many times where people have said that they have died, and they have given document stories of seeing another dimension and seeing past relatives who died before them, and of course feeling comfort in the place that they were at, but then being realized that they were not meant to be there at the time and were taken out and placed back into their bodies. And of course others who screamed horrifically because they saw something before their death and did not want to leave their body or die, and prayed that someone could save them from being taken away. Taken away by what? Or who? And going where? Questions that we still seek answers to. But then of course the Egyptians, we were told, were very powerful, and actually they spoke with gods, and gods helped them to understand life and death in many ways. And that's why there are various scriptures and secrets still to this day in these tombs that we cannot get to because of the booby traps that were created by the Egyptians. Makes you wonder, what exactly were they told about life and death? Main thing you have to realize, though, if you really want to think about it, no matter whether you believe in life or death, no matter how you believe, you need to realize that you want to be a good person in life. You want to do good things in life. You want to remember how unique and amazing you are and how prosperous and positive you can be. Because utopia could exist if we allowed it. We could have unity amongst each other, equality amongst each other. We could have a greatness amongst each other where we all live together in harmony if we chose to. But unfortunately, there are individuals out there that fully believe that they deserve more, that fully believe that they have to have more, and fully believe that they are better than others. And because of this, utopia is very difficult to have, and most likely will never happen, because there's always someone out there that thinks and believes that they deserve more. But still, as an individual, you have to look at your life. You have to look at how you live it. You have to look at the associates that you basically deal with, the people that you actually intertwine with while you're living, and realize that, are you doing good things? Are you doing bad things? Are you participating in good events, or are you participating in bad events? Are you someone that can truly say, if you died today, you know where you would go based on the convention of heaven and hell? Are you someone that would be confused and not really know where you would go based on your current and past events and actions? Questions that you might want to ask yourself, because you really want to know, if I die tomorrow, where will I go based on my beliefs? And will I be saved, or will I be tormented? A question that truly deserves an answer, don't you think? I guess the main thing I'm trying to say is, whether you believe in life, death, voodoo, witchcraft, spirits, or ghosts, believe in yourself. Believe in how well you are, and how great you are, and how good you can be. Believe in all the things that you can do for yourself in today's life, in this life, and how you can improve yourself. Believe in yourself, motivate yourself, and be determined to experience good and great opportunities in life for yourself. Because opportunity is here. Don't waste the opportunity to enjoy a good, meaningful life experience and experiences. Trust me, I'm not. There was a time I didn't take the opportunity to enjoy and experience many things, but now I've come to realize how short life can be. And because of that, I want to experience and enjoy as much as I possibly can while I still can. And so I am. And then, of course, the day that I may pass away, I feel abruptly very solid that I would be one of those saved, and I would go to heaven based on my actions that I do here on earth, and the things that I do out of genuine kindness towards many people that I affiliate with and associate with, and basically meet with and deal with sometimes. That's my belief. That's my faith. Because I try my best to make this place a better world. I try myself to give good solutions to problems, to help others that are in need and help, and also to make people smile and feel good about themselves. Because I feel like everyone deserves the opportunity to feel happiness and be happy. So why not try to help bring them to that level of happiness if possible? That's just the way I feel. That's how I believe. But like I said, you need to focus on yourself and A, discover, do you believe in life and death? B, do you believe in heaven and hell? C, where would you go right now if you were to die tomorrow based on your actions and based on your beliefs and the things you've done and the people you've done them to or done with? Questions that definitely need answers. Questions that definitely should be looked into and given proper answers for. Long story short, though, just enjoy life. Live every minute, every second, every nanosecond you can to benefit yourself, better yourself, but also to benefit and better others when opportunity allows itself. Because like I said, life is so short, and we sometimes take for granted all the many times in our life that we easily could have been demised or diminished or even died, and we didn't, because somehow or some way we were protected and we continue to live on. So I tell you today, ladies and gentlemen, think about life and think about your death and try to see, are you doing enough? Are you living enough, first of all, to enjoy the life you should be having? And are you doing enough to prevent yourself from having a negative event occur when you do die and having a positive occurrence instead? Just something I think you should think about, because you know what? You never know what's going to happen tomorrow or today or in the next hour, next minute. So better to be proactive than reactive when you think. I just want to say that no matter what, though, I believe in you. I think you're a great person. I think that you should have faith in yourself, believe in yourself. And I think that you should try to enjoy life and try to enjoy life with others and try to help other lives be better when the opportunity allows itself, and you may be able to help make that opportunity great. Because you know what? It's all about us helping each other. It's all about us believing in each other. It's all about us living life with each other, but sometimes living our life more so for ourselves. So there you go. There's my Let's Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Brief as it may have been. Maybe talk about it again, maybe in more detail, but still informative, and in one ways and more ways than other, something to make you think, right? Because like I said, you can't solve problems unless you first come up with proper solution. Communication is key to everything in this world. So I hope you've enjoyed my Let's Talk. I hope you enjoyed my affirmation that I believe in spirits, voodoo, witchcraft, life and death. And if you want to, feel free to email me at letstalk@getupradio.com if you have any stories that maybe I can tell others on my next show, maybe concerning ghost, spirits, voodoo, witchcraft, life, death, and more. I welcome them. I welcome all of them, because guess what? I would love to inform others of the situations that you've dealt with so that they may learn, enjoy, and benefit from them. But either way, thank you for listening to our show today, and Let's Talk. And once again, I just want to say thank you, President Jimmy Carter, for being a fascinating man, for being a genuinely caring individual. And I have my prayers go out to you and your family and friends. And I hope that everything goes well in the end. And if not, and it is your time to depart, that you leave in a very peaceful manner and definitely go into heaven, where I feel you definitely deserve to be because of your actions while living here on earth. So, with that being said, thank you for everyone for listening. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening and your day. And until Thursday, just remember, there'll always be problems until you come up with a proper solution and communicate to make them better. Have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk with your host, Alan Cousin. If you have any questions that need answers or wish to be on the show, feel free to email us at letstalk@getupradio.com. And if you have a moment to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, we'd really appreciate it. Remember to get up, smile, and live life positively, as you are an amazing person.